bridal shower. We're drinking mimosas.
What is that? What does that even mean?
That's every bridal party, but it's mimosas. Everybody's always drinking mimosas, bro. It's literally like the go-to.
Hey guys, Scary Barrett coming at you here. I appreciate you tuning in. Listen, today what I want to do is just do a little tornado talk with you. I'm going to talk a little loud. I got a guy out here mowing and he's making all kinds of racket, but we'll try to talk over him. So I've had this tornado for over 100 hours, right? I've done all the maintenance checks. There's a 25, 50, 100. There's all those maintenance checks you got to do and go through. Those have all been done. Anyway, what I'd like to do is talk to you a little bit about my experiences with the tornado and my friends. A couple of my other friends also fly the tornadoes. So what I'm doing today is, if you look, the exhaust cracked, which is not uncommon. That happens on the Mosters quite often, I understand. But this is the third one now that's cracked on the tornadoes. Mine, Graham's, and Drew's have all crapped? They've all cracked over time. They've all cracked over time. So theirs went a little sooner than mine. Mine did make it over the 100 hours. I guess what I want to talk to you about today is not the repairs that I'm having to do. You have to do repairs on any machine you have. It just seems to be kind of the nature of the beast with this thing, with any of these paramotors. What I have replaced, and I'm going to tell you mine as well as the other two, because it gives me a good comparison of whether I just got a bad one or if it's just kind of common. So on this particular machine, 100 hours, there's been two pistons go through it. One of them was for a recall, and one of them, and just the rings just went bad, right? It blew up the whole thing. So there've been two new pistons. There has been a new carburetor. What they sent me with the original was kind of the Chinese knockoff. It wasn't the Walbro, so that I bought on my own. It caused it to run kind of weird, right? It just never ran correctly. So I purchased a Walbro, and it's ran fine with that ever since. The reed valves went bad, and this is kind of a weird one. Not many people hear this, but the reed valves, actually, one of them came loose and fell down into the crank, and it just got chopped up by that piston. So yeah, two new pistons, reed valves, the jug, there's been a carburetor put on. There's been a complete rebuild of this engine, guys, twice. Not once, but twice, because of those piston failures. So the new jug and all that stuff, new rings, new piston, all that stuff was rebuilt twice on this machine. There's been issues with the relay, that's been replaced. And now it's the exhaust. And I will tell you, on the other three machines, on the other two machines plus this one, they've all had to have new pistons put in them. They've all cracked exhaust. Two of them have had issues with the relays, and two of them came with the cheaper carburetors. One of them didn't. So, but they've since been replaced. The two that did come with the cheaper carburetors have been replaced with the Walbros. Now, with all that being said, I want to stop and touch on something for just a moment. Everything has been covered under warranty, and I thank you very much, Lauren, from Air Conception. I appreciate you taking care of all these parts for me. But I also want to point out that just because it's under warranty doesn't mean these parts get shipped to you for free. You still have to pay shipping on most cases for these parts. And I don't know if that's normal across the board or not. But with Air Conception being in France, the parts can get quite expensive, guys. It all kind of depends on weight. So it goes from anywhere from 50 to 100 bucks to get these parts shipped over here to you. So that's something to consider. But another thing to consider is availability, to be able to talk to these guys. There has never been a time that I have sent a request or talked to Laurent or even Dave down at Midwest PPG. These guys have always gotten back with me, discussed my issue, made sure I got the right parts I needed, and shipped them over here fairly quick. They got here, within a week. They're usually here, and that is very important because let's take an example, the Fresh Breeze that I've flown for a long time now. Kurt out of Ohio, he's really close to me, but I couldn't get him to help me with anything. I never got any replacement parts for that. I paid for everything on that on my own, even under the first year warranty. It was hard for him to contact me back. Southern Skies, those guys, they did contact me back, but it was really hard. You send pictures, you have to do this, you have to do that. It became quite a hassle to even get replacement parts for that machine. This one, guys, they send them over here, they come, they're here. He always answers my text. Even when it's like 8 o'clock at night here, I think it's like 2 in the morning over there, he still gets on there and he answers my questions. So got to give him kudos for that, and that definitely counts for something, guys. I'll tell you, it sounds negative, but it's not. I'm telling you, this machine is a beast. All right, so I have flown the Moster 185, I have flown the Nitro, and I have flown the Tornado. Those are the three, and the Fresh Breeze Monster. Out of all those motors, this one is a screaming eagle, man. I mean, this thing moves. It's got some power. It's got some get up. It gets you out of trouble when you need it. It's there for you. it vibrates, it shakes, it's loud, and it's a monster, guys. It's got its own personality, and it is what it is. When you fly them that hard and they're that high strung, they're gonna have issues and they're gonna have problems. I like my Tornado just because the extra power and the lightweight is there, but you're gonna have problems with that. It's not one of the better put together machines. The Moster 185 is such a better built machine, from my opinion, just from looking at them and the way they run, the smoothness of them. Okay, so with that being said, let me think. On the 3 machines, what have been replaced? You've already heard mine. On the other one, there's also been the pistons. There's been a starter replaced on at least one of the other ones I know of. The airbox, I forgot about that. It has been replaced on this one. So the airbox rubber that goes on the top there up by the carburetor, it tends to want to cut itself. So it will eventually cut itself loose, and I think that's just from vibration from the hours. And luckily for me, it hasn't happened, but the other 2 Tornadoes have had to have their clutches replaced, right? So if you don't have a clutch in a machine, that's not something you have to worry about, but 2 of the 3 machines, the clutches did need to be replaced. So kind of to move forward on this and to get to fixing this thing, get it back in the air, guys, the list of broken parts are pretty long. Those are some negatives. The positives, a lot of power, great customer service, a lot of power. I love this machine. So let's move forward with this, and I just wanted to kind of touch on some of those things you may run into if you buy the Air Conception Tornado. But in the meantime, look at this, guys. Brand spanking new exhaust getting ready to be put on. Also, something I'm going to do if you guys want to stick around and watch, I did get a new reserve today. So I fly with the 140 Angel on here. I'm going to replace that. This is a much bigger reserve and it's steerable. It's just something I want for my heavier body weight. The 140, I believe, may have brought me down a little hard still. So anyway, heck yeah, let's get to it, guys. If you want to hang out a little while, I'm going to go put this reserve on. I'm going to fix this exhaust, and we're going to make it a happy day. All right, to be honest, it looks pretty straightforward. I'm actually just going to pull these off of here. That's the bad part. If you come up top here, I'm going to remove the actual muffler side of this, and then it all should just kind of plug and play right back in where the old one was. Just a 10mm wrench. I guess it's already cracked, so it don't matter if it's wiggling a bit, does it? All right, now we got those off. On the round on the back side here, I don't know if I can get back here, you guys can see it or not, but right here, that's a 6mm Allen. So we're gonna take that off of there, and then this whole thing, hopefully, should just slide right off of here. Now that we got her loose, there we go. Much more efficient, much more efficient this way. There she goes. Look at that. It just come right off of there. Looks good down inside of there. Step number 1 complete. Let's keep going. All right, so the new part did not come with the new gasket. I wish I'd have known that. I would have ordered one. So I'm gonna be really careful getting this one off of here. So hopefully I can reuse that. All right, so this particular part right here, guys, it is a 5, I believe 5 or 6. 5 is what that looks like. Allen wrench to get on here. What I am a little sad about though is, see this, if I had a thin wall, maybe I could get in there, but it doesn't come at it straight. So I'm gonna have to use one of these dudes and just kind of wedge it there. She's working, she's slow coming, but she's coming. I'm basically just gonna do that to all 3 of these and it should fall right apart. There it goes. Don't lose the nuts. Don't lose the nuts. Remember, lefty loosey, righty tighty. All right, number 2 is out. Look how loose that dude is right there. 1 more to go, boys. All right, that should be loose enough to do her by hand there. And pow. Look at that, coming right off a chair. Woo. She cracked good. She cracked good. Looks like a smiley face or a frowny face. All right, let's just do a quick cleanup in here. Around the edge, make sure there's no burrs, nothing like that happening. All right, looks like there's 2 more nuts I need to get off of there, and that should let this whole second part right here, this whole top part come off, and I should be ready to put the new one on. All right, so these dudes are 13mm, and I'm going to use this extension just to make it a little easier to get in there to them. We'll do the bottom one first. It looks like a little washer here, so I'm going to make sure we put that back on the right way when we put them back together. Grab that washer, and this whole thing should just fall off into my lap. There she comes. All right, boys and girls. There's the broken one all busted up. I'm gonna try to pull this off nice and easy, and then we're gonna put everything back together. It should be a pretty simple fix. Just put it back the same way it came apart, right? Minus the broken part. All right, guys, I did a quick inspection of those bolts that hold the exhaust on there. They still look to be in good shape, so we're gonna just use those and put them back on there. But it's simply a matter of putting them here and here, putting everything back together, and then we'll fire that thing up, see how she sounds, make sure she runs okay, there's no rattles, which I don't know why there would be. And then we'll stick that reserve on there, guys. So let's get this thing done. Now, something I want to point out here, I don't know if it's going to show up in the GoPro, but these are slotted. Maybe it'll show on the other one. These are slotted right here. So it allows me to adjust this up and down just a little bit to make sure that this fits in there nice and straight. So I'm gonna leave these loose until I get this where I want it. Okay guys, in the user manual here for the Air Conception Tornado, there's a diagram inside here, and basically what they're saying is these springs right here, there is no torque setting, right? They're not giving you a torque setting. They're just saying that these springs need to have a 10 millimeter compression size, right? So me and Graham have kind of worked this out through several times, and we found out that 3/16 of an inch of the thread sticking out here usually gets us pretty close to that 10 millimeter size. But I'm gonna go ahead and tighten these down, and then we'll check both of those measurements, and they should be pretty close to what they're asking for here in the book. All right, so there we have it. Let's see, 1, 2, 3/16 on each one of these. That's gonna leave these compressed down to 10 millimeters. That's exactly what they wanted. So let's tighten these two bolts up and put the silencer on there. Again, if there's a torque setting on these, I can't find it anywhere. I've looked online and I've looked through the user's manual, but I don't see any kind of torque on these vibration pads here at all. If anybody knows what these are supposed to be torque setting wise, please let me know and I'll come back and redo these. But until then, we're just gonna snug them up. Okay, so now for the silencer, I was able to get that gasket off. It still looks like it's in great shape. Let's put this on and get this back on there. A little righty-tighty. I'm gonna try to give these both equal pressure. Okay, I think that's pretty good. All right, put the finishing touches on this dude. Tighten her down. All right, so that all looks pretty good. Everything's tight, everything's where it should be. The specs that I know have been done. So let's put this thing on the back, fire it up, put a little heat in this thing, see if I can hear anything, and then we'll check it for some leaks. And then we'll move on to that reserve, guys. What do you say? So how cool is that, guys? Old Grambo buddy showed up here. He looks so thrilled to be here helping me, right? I love it when he shows up to help me out. So we're gonna get this old reserve off. If you open this up, you can see how she's kind of hooked in here. So basically this is really easy, guys. It's just kind of Velcroed through here and it unsnaps. We get both of our big old hands in there. And then there's a zipper that zips it to the harness. And I'm gonna get my hands in his way all the way through it.
Bam.
So really that's it, guys. That's all that holds that to the harness is a zip and a little bit of Velcro. Now we'll pull it out of here. Bow. So basically he's going to take that off of this side, loosen it up really nice. And there's one on the other side as well that comes up and around through here. Blood. He's bleeding. Oh, there's a lawsuit coming. All right, and then to put the new one on, guys, you just zip her in. Just like you're zipping up your pants. Or a coat. Let's do a coat, man.
No,
we don't want to talk X-rated stuff.
X-rated pants.
Let me hold
Let's
that
clean
for
that
you,
out.
buddy, while you're doing that.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's easy, really.
You just need to have a 5-man crew. And that's zipped up. Terrible.
Put a snap on there.
Snap on there.
Snap on there.
Velcro.
We'll put the Velcro through. I'm gonna let go. You got it?
Yeah, man.
And that's all there really is to putting that onto the harness. So that's the easy part. Next is rigging up the straps.
All right, so straps go over the J-bar. Always make sure you're over the J-bar. If you ever have any questions, just think about how this thing is going to deploy and what it's going to do when it's up in the air, so that way you don't have any issues with it snagging on something. So these are just going to go up and through here, one on one side, the other on the other side. And this being a steerable, it's been labeled for us left and right, which is nice. So our right-hand side, and we're assuming, we're not 100% positive that that's right as far as when you're in the machine sitting. Those into there, not the handles, just the bridle. That's what it's called. The bridle there.
Right, it's also a wedding party.
Yeah, wedding party, whatever you want.
Bridal party.
Bridal shower. We're drinking mimosas.
What is that? What does that even mean?
That's every bridal party, but it's mimosas. They're always drinking mimosas, bro. It's literally like the go-to.
So what's gonna happen next, guys, is we're gonna tighten these down using a wrench on each side, and then we'll put some tape to make sure they stay where they're supposed to be. You can use O-rings for this. I just don't have the right ones that are here, the right proper size, so we're just gonna stick with tape. That's what we've always used before. Just kind of holds it where it needs to be. So basically she's just going to lay in here like this, nice and straight. Everything gathered up as it should, and this will all tuck away. We'll put that final little Velcro piece on it, and it just lays in there nice and smooth, just like that. Covers up nice. The other one comes across the same way on the other side. All right, so anyway, guys, that's about it. That's the end of the day, the end of the work day for us. So I want to say thank you to Graham, my buddy here, for showing up over here and giving me a hand. I know I kind of went through that last part pretty quick with the reserve. If you have any questions, please down below, just send me a message. I'm happy to answer whatever I can. And until next time, guys, I appreciate you hanging around, and it's been good to see you, and I'll see you in the skies, guys. Love you. Scary Barry out. Have a good one.